Hello, dude. I'm representing a page called WTF Is Going On, and I wanted to talk to you about why you're here today. So where are you from, firstly?
I'm from Cumbria.
You're from Cumbria. You travelled all the way from Cumbria today. What is it now? It's like, what? It's got to be 2 o'clock in the morning, so we're all fucked. And we're just chilling.
Set off at around 2 o'clock this afternoon. No, sorry, before that, about 12 o'clock this afternoon, and I arrived for 7 o'clock.
I set off about 9 o'clock this morning. I come here from Blackpool.
Right, oh, so just round the corner?
Yeah,
well, absolutely.
So tell me, why are you here? Why are you here?
I'm here to stand in solidarity with other people that think that the state of the global corporations market and the corruption in the government currently needs to change. I'm a barrister in training, and if I reveal my face here, it could jeopardise my entire career.
We're all anonymous today, man.
It's gone on long enough. And so I'm here, even despite the risk of my career, to stand in solidarity and say, no, this can't happen anymore.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I completely agree with that. So, what are your thoughts on the current political system?
Well, with a two-party system we currently have in place, it doesn't represent the people properly. I mean, for a start off, we were fobbed off with additional voting recently in a referendum, but that does not truly represent the...
It's not a majority, is it?
It's just not the majority.
In fact, the majority didn't vote.
Yeah. Well, for a start off, the majority didn't vote, and then when you look at the number of people who did vote...
There was no majority power.
I mean, especially since you have a hung parliament right now, only, say, 30% of the actual voting populace is currently represented by who's in power, and that means that 70% of your entire populace is completely unrepresented in Parliament.
It's completely unrepresented.
It's insane.
It's fucking bonkers, mate.
It's feudal, and we shouldn't have this anymore. It's past time to change. And all it took was a bit of scaremongering from the media for people to vote against additional voting, which would have been a step in the right direction, but
even if we were to use this current system, then surely it should be done like the way France did it. Like, if there's not a majority, then you split what is the populace.
Look no further than Northern Ireland. If you do some research on the way that the Northern Ireland government works, the way people are voted in, that is currently probably, arguably, the fairest system in Europe at the moment. Certainly the fairest in Britain. They use something called, I think it's the Holst or the Hont method, and that's the fairest.
See, this is the next question. What is your political ideal?
Well, yeah, it would be I can't remember whether it's the Holt or the Hont method, but my political ideal would be true representation. Everyone has it, even if I don't agree with someone. They have their right to their opinion.
Of course they do.
The Conservatives have their right to their opinion as much.
That's exactly why we're here today, because we feel we have a voice.
The Green Party as much as the Socialist Party. Everybody's opinion is important, and everyone's opinion counts, even if I don't agree with you. So we need true representation.
Exactly.
And the only reasons we have against this is that, it doesn't form strong governments. Well, we have a hung parliament anyway. That isn't a strong government as it is. So surely now, of all times, we should be moving towards this idea of representing everyone's beliefs and then working it out and moving it forward politically.
Yeah, for real. So what do you want to change, like, from being here today? What would you like to change from us being here?
For me here, I came here to show that I'm willing to get out of my seat and come down to London from Cumbria,
and say no.
Miles away.
Exactly.
To say no, to say enough is enough.
Yeah.
This has to change.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean specifically, what was it?
I'd like
in the short term, what would you like to see?
Well, thinking about actual change happening from the government.
No, I mean in the short term, though. I mean in the short term.
What I'd like to see from today is more people here next year. Because until people realise, hang on,
that imminent. The revolution is going to come.
Yeah, but I think that it could come from this night. But I think that people need to see that people are willing to come out
and do this
peacefully
and peacefully
Tonight was-
protest and
tonight
be
was
abused
mostly
by the
peaceful.
fucking police like we have.
We had a couple of idiots there, but apart from that, it was peaceful protesting.
It was a completely
all the way,
peaceful protest.
which was wonderful. I mean, that's what we need. Is the thing is that these policemen here, they've got wives and children too.
Yeah, but
They're stretched just
Look.
as thin right now. They're under so much strain of losing their jobs if they don't behave in the way that the government pressurise them to. Talk about a divide and conquer.
I know.
They're just as unhappy.
I told them today. I said to them today that I supported them when they were protesting against the government.
However,
Hold on. I told them all day long, and it kind of stopped me from getting arrested because it got me on side of them a bit. But it was a bit fucking kissing arse. But I had to do what I had to do at some point. But I told them today.
They're our brothers, man. They're our brothers. They're
the ones that keep the law.
They have wives and children to sustain at home.
But I said to
just
them,
like we do, and the fact they're being squeezed by the government.
But I told them when they were protesting last year,
the people with the money are making us fight.
When they were protesting last year, I told them that I supported them in what they were saying about losing their pensions. The government shouldn't be taking their pensions away. These are the people.
Talk about divide and conquer.
Exactly.
Look at the stranglehold.
But when they were protesting,
look at the stranglehold that we are currently
nobody
under
kettled
in this
them.
country. They're being turned against us. We're being turned against them.
Well, they were complete Nazis. They were complete Nazis.
Well, I saw a different side personally.
I got kettled with about 100 people for 2 hours.
The thing is, this is government policy. This is exactly my point. They have wives and children to look after. They're being squeezed to behave in a certain way. They're being made
but
to
just
do this
following
by the
orders.
government.
Just following orders is not.
To look after.
Ignorance is no excuse, surely.
I mean, you could say, okay, why don't we hate on soldiers as soon as they come back from abroad? They're under orders just the same way as these guys are under orders.
Well, I don't support the soldiers.
Well, personally, neither do I, but I mean, it's more acceptable somehow to go away and kill innocent people for rich men's wars than to be a police officer.
Yeah, I know.
That's totally counterintuitive.
This is fucking a mad world, isn't it?
It's a mad world. And look at the stranglehold we're being put under. Made to fight. I mean, the old phrase, the old ones are always this: divide and conquer. And look, we've been divided, and they are conquering us. And until we accept these guys as our brothers, and stop people at riot, and stop people at protest.
Me and you have both been here today, and I saw you earlier, and we've both been here today, and we've both done a peaceful protest.
Yeah.
And apart from a couple of idiots, I tell you what, I clocked less idiots from Anonymous than I clocked in the police. Oh, well, yeah, the police were the bigger bastards than a couple of drunken idiots in Anonymous.
Personally, I didn't see particularly much untoward from the police.
I've got a lot of it on video, has it?
Brilliant. Well, post it
I
because
will.
they should know better. I am
They
not
should.
saying that they shouldn't. They should know better, and there is an element to the police of it being a white middle class boys club, working men boys club, you know, and there is an element to that to it. However, at the same time, when people protest, they can't start to be violent. As soon as you start to get that adrenaline going,
see what it was.
As soon as you get that adrenaline going, their adrenaline goes up, and then they start attacking.
You see what it was? Is they completely kettled us in at Buckingham Palace.
Yeah.
Turn
the camera off me while I have a sip of my Red Bull.
Yeah. Camera's just off in for a sec. I've not got my mask on. We're all chilling out. We're at Trafalgar Square. It's about 3 o'clock and we're all just chilling out. Yeah, and I'm interviewing this guy and he's pretty sound.
Lovely people sat around.
They're lovely people. There's a guitar going on over there as well at some point. But anyway, sorry, what were we saying?
So we were saying that I think we were just up to what would you like to see change?
Yeah, what would you like to see change long term?
Long term, I'd like to see more people turn up to this to show the government that it's not. That we're not going to stand for this anymore. And until everyone gets out of their seats, takes to the streets, tells everyone that England is worth fighting for.
But that can be done tomorrow. It can be done next week. It can be. Why every time on the 5th of November? We can do this every fucking day.
Well, Yeah, but
We've got to say no.
well, no, but people can't. People are squeezed. People are scared.
They are
Yeah,
scared.
they're scared. As soon as they leave their jobs, they get fired. They can't provide for their families. Boom. So, I mean, we can make a point about this day for next year,
So,
and all
no,
invite everybody we know
even
to
if that
come and
happened,
stand.
even if that happened, what after that?
Well, I mean, and also,
What if we succeed? What? How can we succeed? How can we win?
Well, we can win by getting these guys on side with us, by winning the argument with the people so much.
They're only gonna be on side of us when they're squeezed to the absolute point of rebellion themselves, and they're not. They've had their pensions. They've had their pensions pinched, but they've not been squeezed.
No,
it's just a slight pinch.
I'm a great humanitarianist. I believe that those guys, most of them,
after what I've witnessed tonight,
would want to be on this side of the way with us.
I think a lot. I've actually got a lot of good police interviews tonight.
Yeah, mate. No, more than you think do, but they have to do their job.
I actually didn't record half as much as I should when I was kettled in that small kettle, because I was too busy talking to them to even bother
If a policeman acts out of line, it should be recorded, and that's your right.
And he should be arrested.
And they should be brought in line, and they should be citizens arrested. By the protesters, they should be dragged off and held until an appropriate officer can come and take control of them.
See, the next question is talking about the police again, and I remember down at Buckingham Palace earlier, when what basically happened was I went for a piss. It was back down on the avenue. You know, the avenue that just for the people that are listening. You know, the avenue that takes you down to Buckingham Palace. You'll see it on the royal wedding. You know, the Mall. There you go. Thank you. I went down onto the Mall to have a piss, so I weren't pissing on the fucking Queen's house, because I wouldn't want to do that for the hairy goat-legged fucker, would I? So I went down onto the Mall and did it in a bush. And when I came back, everything was fine when I went there. There were a few fireworks going off, kind of aimed towards Buckingham Palace.
At Buckingham Palace.
Which I thought was really fun, but there wasn't actually, unless it actually went into one of their bulletproof windows, it weren't going to kill the Queen, you know? So there was no harm. I came back from the piss, and all of a sudden, there's fucking 700 people running away from Buckingham Palace. I've got my bag up there that's got all my clothes in it for my holiday next week, so I have to go back to get my clothes and my rucksack. And then I did see, to be fair, a couple of missiles being thrown. I think a couple of bottles, but then the police were already going mad by then, so I could kind of understand why there were missiles being thrown.
It's tough one, man, you know what I mean?
And then what happened thereafter?
Any other time of the night, I'm not on the side of the police, I'm not on the... Particularly, you know, I like to look at things objectively.
Yeah.
And, well, you don't know, I mean, maybe they started throwing bottles, but I did hear that a girl was punching the... I don't even want to say this because it's hearsay.
Oh, she was run over, wasn't she? Hit and run.
Well, I've heard about 5 different stories, and this is the thing, we're talking about things neither of us have seen. You can't include that in any real structure.
We can't. You know but basically, just for the viewers and the listeners, it's widely believed that the police did a hit and run on somebody down on the Mall.
I also heard that there was 20,000 people at Westminster. When there wasn't, there was 5, 6, 7,000 most.
But we got completely kettled off, and like that was the whole process over the night for them. It was to kettle off and separate us, divide and conquer.
Yeah. Well, but to be fair, I think actually...
And then when the groups got small enough, they did conquer. They just fuck it. I saw Buckingham Palace when they were pushing us out, and they had no reason to push us out.
Someone lit a fire on the statue.
I was taking a piss, mate. I was taking a piss.
Fireworks at the Queen.
I did it myself.
Take action against. Setting fire to the statue outside the Queen's fucking house and throwing fireworks at the Queen's house. That's one of the things.
It was aimed at her. It was aimed at her.
You know what I mean?
I'm just as guilty.
Like, for me, I think it's brilliant because nothing particularly bad was done tonight, yeah?
We did no harm.
There was no big harm, like, okay, a monument got a couple of pieces of paint on it.
Excuse me, guys, what time is it?
It's 2 o'clock.
It's 2 o'clock.
5 to 2.
We got all these people here. There's got to be 60, 70 people here in Trafalgar Square still. Hey, give us a wave. There we go. That guy's giving us a wave. Right?
Man.
And, like, we're probably all fucked for the night, but we're all fucking chilling out. There's a few of them that have gone off to McDonald's.
Yeah, well...
That was what this table was. This table was full of people that have now gone to McDonald's, so I decided to...
How can you wear an anonymous mask and go to McDonald's?
I know.
Isn't that precisely what
we're against that corporation like that?
Yeah, the corruption in corporations. The McDonald's is the worst of them. Like, what? Well,
Coca-Cola.
Well, McDonald's, if you look at what they did to Mexico, you really realise the evil of that.
It's fucking sickening what these corporations are actually... They're actually plundering the earth, aren't they?
It's the free markets, and then look at modern things like fracking. Like, I mean, you look at like horror stories like The Matrix about how we ruined the sky, yeah, and how we ruined the earth. And it's like, oh, that's what happened. No, man, like now with fracking, we're delving in stuff that we shouldn't be touching. How can anyone in government not see that this is a bad idea? Like a really bad idea. Like drilling oil and big strip coal mines and everything else and polluting the seas with plastic or whatever.
Yeah, it's fucked, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, mate, thanks for talking to us.
Yeah, no worries, mate.
Alright, cheers.
Take care.
I'm Ben and I'm from WTH Is Going On. WTF Is Going On, I can't even fucking say it. Too many beers for me.